Okay. So maybe let me try to do some recap for our class in the first place. Okay, we are in the three vehicle. So section 1 is the essentials core to practicing the path of the three vehicle. Now we are in the stage 1. Stage 1 is about generally the Stravaka practitioners are the main audience of three vehicles. Second is the detailed explanation on the different aspect of this practitioner. There will be the difference from the aspect of the livelihood. Okay, those preferring the household life and also those preferring the monastic life. Okay, there's a difference. Okay, from the aspect of spiritual founder. Okay, there could be the faith-oriented. There could be the more rational. Both type of people, they are qualified for being arahantship also. So number third is about concluding reminder that all practicing the path aim at the liberation. Okay. Stage 2 is explaining the elements that make up this path. Number first one is about we focus the Four Noble Truths and the law of dependent originations. Okay. Second is about the detail, the cause and result relating to the mundane and supramundane world according to the Four Noble Truths. Number first one is the overview of the Four Noble Truths. Second is the detailed explanation of the Four Noble Truths. All right. Okay. Well, we are in this part. Okay. In our previous lesson. All right. I think for today, our scope we might be able to finish the Four Noble Truths. Besides that, there's a possibility that we might start the three trainings today. So let me try to recap for our previous lesson. Okay. Okay. So in previous lesson, verse number 66, suffering, accumulation, extinction, and the way are called the Four Noble Truths. In reality, suffering is the actual misery of the human world. All right. Accumulation means affliction and the karma force that the affliction generate. We'll try. Extinction means we put an end to the recurrence of the suffering. And the ways might be the precept, meditations, and wisdom. All right. And the method to practice is to counteract the afflictions and to reach the nibbana. And it could be realized by the sages. All right. Well, in the Nibbana Sutra, we do not know the truth of the suffering. Ordinary people, they don't know the truth of suffering. The Buddha spoke of the truth of suffering, that reality is suffering, and that suffering cannot be changed to happiness. Okay, so there's the definition of the suffering. If the suffering is extinguished, it is the same as the cause being extinguished. Meaning to say, when we try to extinguish the cause, then the suffering itself will be extinguished. And okay, then these are all real, meaning to say the precept, meditation, wisdom are all real, inevitable, and absolute. The Four Noble Truths will be real, inevitable, and absolute. Only the sages can realize them profoundly and firmly without lingering the doubt. So they are called the Four Noble Truths. Now we go to the truth of the suffering. Say, okay, sorry. Regarding the verses number 67, suffering constitutes the real world, our body and the mind, and suffering is an oppressive annoyance and oppressions of the body and mind that makes one feel trapped and distraught. All right, that is the suffering. We have gone through the eight suffering and quite in details in the previous lesson. All right. Okay, so number first is the suffering. The cause might be from fame, power, position, family, and wealth, which is unobtainable. All right. Then number second, there may be the suffering come from the relationship separate from those who we love, all right? Then the suffering also can come from unable to forgive, all right? Then number 4 will be the born. Number 5, growing old. And number 6 for being sick. Number 7, all right, is our from the experience due to the possession of our own body and the mind. They don't realize that after being born, one cannot avoid becoming old, getting sick, and dying. So this is the root to the cause, or is the bitter. Okay, now we are going to continue from this paragraph. Sally, please read it out. Okay.
From our relationship with external things, with society and our body and mind, come 7 different sufferings. With further investigation, one can realize that these sufferings all come from 8, the union of 5 aggregates. The 5 aggregates are the 5 categories of us that make up our mind, make up our body, and they are the cause of all suffering. With respect to external things, society and our body, the above mentioned 7 sufferings cannot be avoided. We have our problems of existence because we have these 5 aggregates. The 5 grasping aggregates the total body of suffering, together with previous 7 different sufferings, are all called the 8 suffering. 5 aggregates. These 5 aggregates are forms, sensations, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. Grasping consciousness, which exists everywhere, is contaminated and not tangled. The 5 aggregates are 5 different categories of elements. Similar categories assembled together, and each category includes elements, hence their name, the aggregate, collecting together. When Buddha spoke of the truth of suffering, he often referred to the 5 aggregates. They are, as he said, like armed robbers, confining sentient beings, their victims, within their equal territory of suffering. Their forms, sensations, perceptions, mental forms. Form is defined as changing resistance, which can obstruct and also be divided. Form having substance and being resistant has volume and occupies space. It can be analyzed and destroyed. The modern terms would call matter. But in Buddha Dharma, the forces that arise are called form. Although these forms or forces refer to the hidden forces of good or evil conduct, they are somewhat similar to the modern view of energy. Sensation is defined as reception. When the mind is intact with an external object and receives it, this perception triggers internal feelings, sorrow or happiness. These sensations are emotional functions of the mind. Perception is defined as making, which is the function of cognition. In recognizing the external object, the mind makes an image of that object and then reveals it through the formation of conceptions and associations. Various acts of speech and writing are established. Mental formation is defined as when an object triggers the mind will, after mental consideration and decisions making, initiate a physical or verbal action. Mental actions are basically the attributes of the mind known as thoughts. These mental formations mobilizes the mind, which is the function of volition. All actions that center on thinking, whether volitions or associated mental functions, with the exception of sensations and perceptions, are included in this category. Consciousness is defined as clear understanding and discrimination. The mind is actually very complicated. It consists and attributes such sensations, perceptions, thinking, etc., and it is an encompassing awareness. This encompassing awareness can be differentiated in the recognition of objects called consciousness.
Okay, Sally, thank you so much. Try to digest the picture of the condensed first. Please mute your handphone so that we won't hear all this type of message voice. Sally, if you have finished, please thumb up.
Can you go back to the first paragraph from our relation?
Yes, sure. Okay, wait lah. Relation. Let's see. First paragraph.
First paragraph for today. Page 119.
119. Okay, yes. Here is it.
Go up. Go 119. From the relation. Here from the relation. Okay, done.
Okay. Now we try to go through is number 8, suffering. All right. According here, with the further investigation, one can realize that the suffering all come from the union of the 5 aggregates, which is our body and the mind. Meaning to say that as long as we have our body and mind, then all the suffering will continue. I believe it might be the reason why some beings, they prefer not to reincarnate, but they try to possess the body from somebody in order to do some merits. I have an experience, encountered a few trance, the trance, the medium, they mentioned to me that actually some of the medium, they are not a very high class medium, you know. They handpick the people who almost die, especially with the 4th stage cancer. All right, they prefer handpick them, and then they negotiate and bargain. They will give them the prolonged life in the expense that reciprocally. The patients have to serve the being maybe for 10 years, something like that. It could be every night. It could be any time. Notice that why they choose. There's a two possibility why they don't choose for reincarnation. First is due to they notice that the 5 aggregates, it really takes time to build up, and a lot of suffering within the by the possession of the 5 aggregate. Second, and you have take time to learn and become adult. Second, they don't have enough the merit for reincarnations. I noticed that. Well, it happens in our Buddhism too, especially in Tibetan Buddhism. There's some, how to say, they call it a 小活佛, or the little Buddha. Little Buddha means what? Means some higher attainment. They will choose they will choose some way. Okay, so what's wrong with her? Shall I continue?
I think the sound is not so good.
Okay.
Sally, are you okay?
Are you okay, Sally?
Okay.
Okay,
Battery.
no battery. All right. Okay. So let me continue. Especially in Tibetan Buddhism.
Forgot to switch on.
Now
okay already.
Okay. So in Tibetan Buddhism, they prefer choosing reincarnate, and they will ask their disciple go to search for them. Okay. So let me show you some pictures about this. I think maybe you heard this before. What they 叫做活佛轉世啦, this we call it 活佛轉世. Let's take a look. It used to be very little. We call it the little boy. All right. The little boy is. The little boy in his previous life is a master. Okay, and his disciple go to look for the little boy and train the little boy so that the little boy can inherit their master's thrones and also the heritage. And the little boy now will become a student for his previous disciple. But once he becomes adult, okay, his disciple will reincarnate again. His disciple will reincarnate again, and his disciple, and he will become the master he will become the master for his disciple after the reincarnation. You see, they just take turn become master and teacher, master and teacher, master and teacher. Okay, within the three traditions, Theravada, Mahayana, and Tibetan, only Tibetan Buddhism have shown this unique identity only. We don't know what skills they use, you know. We don't know what skills they use. They managed to handpick where they want to reincarnate, and they used to write the poem, and also they would tell their disciple that please don't open the poem up after 10 years, because he expect he take time to grow up to 10 years and wait the disciple to come and to recognize him. And he's going to undergo some training after some very strict scrutinization. Once the little boy have already been proved as the teacher, all right, the little boy has to go through the training, a very tough training, and even though the little boy is wrongly recognized, don't worry. The reason is the training system is so tough, and they will make an unreal master become a real master. This is their perception. Okay. Okay, well, okay, I have a question. Let you try to guess. If let's say you are the disciple, okay, you already find out your previous master, and he's still a little boy, am I right? Okay. If let's say he is naughty, are you going to beat him or not? Because he's just a boy, right? He still prefer playing the toys. He still have the nature as a boy, but he was previously as your master. Now he is naughty. Are you going to beat him?
No.
Of course 啦，有仇報仇啦。哎呀，
I think you don't realize how respectful. Especially in the Tibetan heritage, you don't know how respectful.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Okay. So
Don't do it.
yeah. Okay. So if you are the disciple, what will you do if your previous master become a boy now and show the naughtiness? Sally?
即係already 有仇報仇。
Maybe you will just beat him, all right? Okay, no problem. Okay, next time when he turns become adult, he will just torture you back. And next time you become a boy, he will torture you again. Right? Reincarnate only. Okay. So Elena way is not that reasonable. Sounds like
I know.
on revenge.
Yeah, it's not supposed to.
How about Sally? What will you do to the previous master?
Well, have to try to teach him more. That's all.
Okay, well, the answer is they will beat him, but before beating him, they will bow to him first. Okay, the bowing show that you are my master, I respect you. Then after that, they start to beat because now I'm going to teach
大力
you.
啲咯，係打大力啲咯嗰陣時。
But before the beating, you have to bow first. I think this is a very nice way. It shows the respect and the teaching and the responsibility at the same time. You see how burdensome, because the roles, the role is very confusing, the master and also the boy at the same time together, the master and disciple are both together appear at you. So meaning to say that it is not good go to check our previous life unnecessarily, unless the trouble is you can encounter the problem without checking the past life. If unnecessary, don't go to check. You will arise a lot of confusion, and especially the person who check you, who hypnotize you, cannot lead you properly. Okay. So just don't simply go to the psychiatric who is conducting the hypnosis courses. No, please. Okay, now we're going through is this next part. So this is the Tibetan reincarnation. All right. Basically, they will go upon and go to check where is their master to reincarnate. I This is the pond. Do you see it? This is the pond, you see. Usually there's a pond. They will go to look for the pond, and the pond will appear. The village, all right. Usually they will keep secret for the whole trip. What's the reason? Tibetan is still under the governance of the Chinese. For China, politics is above religions. No matter how strong religion you are, you cannot overrule, you cannot overpower the politics. This is the reason why the China government, they try their best to control the leader of the religious leader in Tibetan. You see or not? This is the reason why Dalai Lama claims that in his next life, he will never reborn to China. He said, I will end my reincarnation this life. Why? Because he wanted to try to release the control from the China. And China realized that as long as I manage to control the leader of the Tibetan, whatever sect, that I can control the whole Tibetan Buddhism and the whole Tibetan populations. You see or not? So this is something how maybe you have to understand once we talk about reincarnation and the politics. Okay. Well, anyway, if there is some, once there's a unification between the politics and the religions, it will make things complicated. I think it is good. The separation is better than the unification. Am I right? You make things complicated. Now, this is something happening in Tibetan Buddhism. So next time when you do the reading, from this, from what we discussed today, you can have a broadened mind, or you know what happened outside the world. And I expect maybe both of you, after our theory study, you will have enough knowledge to explore once you go to Tibetan Buddhism and the Theravada. Because you know the gist, you won't see the form only. You know what is the theory and what is happening. Okay, now we go to the further. So that's the reason why, they will keep secret along the journey until they find their previous teacher. Okay, they will just keep secret. This is the point will manifest the village where we manifest whom the master will reborn. Okay, so this is the point.
Like that also can.
What?
Normally don't have one.
Okay, so, Elena, you talk first.
Like that also can. You go to the pond and then you manifest and then you think that then you see something and then that's where you give you some hint or who is where the master has reincarnated.
Yes, okay. You see, first, once the point can manifest the village, that's the miracle number one already. Second, they will be guided from the Dharma protector also, all right? The third, usually the previous master will leave some clues for them to find him out. They need all the clues together to check and find out their master. That's what they do. So if we mean the heritage unbreakable, the heritage will be just continue at unbreakable. Okay, Sally, how about you? What's the questions?
This pond, is it forever there or is it just for that time?
Let's see. I think there will be a permanent pond for them to look for it. You see? So this is the pond, you see? 200 years. This is the pond.
It's already there one.
Yeah, it's already there already. Okay, once time's up, okay, they know the time's up, they will go to see. I think usually the trance will give them the message, the Dharma protector, through a medium. So they will go to look for it, the message. Then they will go to find the master. Everything must be in secret. Everything will be highly classified. Okay, let's continue with our Dharma. Okay, now we go to the 5 aggregate. Yes, Sally. Okay, 5 aggregates is so important for doing the Vipassana. Okay, so this is the part which I hope you all have to really understand and prepare before you go to the Vipassana. But anyway, I wish to mention that the 5 aggregate here is quite fundamental only. It's very fundamental. So Sally, no matter how it's possible, you please go to study a little bit more Abhidhamma. And then you will be equipped enough the knowledge. Once you do the vipassana, then you can transform the knowledge, become the experience. Here the knowledge is two foundation, two fundamental. I think Elena, you have to study hard also. I think she needs company also. You all go together. Once you can meditate well, so you go and go further together. But anyway, I think after finish this part of the theory, I hope maybe both of you together with Mr. Leong, you go to choose one retreat which is conducted by the Theravada. Because for your present knowledge, it will be enough for you to join whatever Theravadin meditation camp. Is already enough the knowledge. Okay, and let's go through now the definition for the 5 aggregate. Okay, number 1.
Sorry, Master. The 5 aggregate is also the same as the 5 skandhas, is it?
Yes, it's the same. Okay,
The same.
a skandha is the Pali terms. Okay,
I see. Okay.
Okay, 5 aggregates are category of the elements. Okay, aggregates means the collecting together. Collecting together. I think maybe you have to copy down the Pali terms. Once you go to Theravada, the meditation retreat, they will unavoidably use the Pali terms. Skandha. Okay, 5 aggregate. Aggregate. Yes, kanda. Please copy down kanda. Especially Pali lah, kanda. I feel so funny, It seems like I'm going through I'm conducting the tuition class, one by one tuition class. Okay, When Buddha speak of the truth of suffering, usually refer to the 5 aggregates. The definition for the suffering of a born, suffering of the die, suffering of departing from the one you love, and suffering of meeting the one who you dislike. Well, basically, this is a quite general definition. Once you go to the Abhidhamma level, the more advanced level, they will solely define suffering as 5 aggregate only. Why? Because the 5 aggregate itself is a suffering. Once, all the suffering comes due to the suffering of the 5 aggregate by itself. So they define it, focus on the 5 aggregate, meaning to say that by possessing the body and mind, all the defilement arise, meaning to say that once we are able to eliminate or eradicate the 5 aggregate, the cause of the 5 aggregate, then we will be liberated. So let's take a look. Now the definition number 1 is the form. Form means what? Changing, resistant, obstruct, and could be divided. All right. Then it could be analyzed and destroyed. Nowadays we call it as a matter. As long as something which is obstructing, for example, you see. So this is something obstructing, right? Okay. Then this is something we managed to divide it, right? Okay. So it's this obstructing, and we can divide it. So this we call it matter. This is the form. This is the matter. It's number 1. Okay. Of course, the matter it doesn't refer to the external matter, but mostly the part of the body. All right. So you see, Sally, Elena. Now this is our body. We are obstructing the things, right? We are obstructing, and the body is dividable. So this we call it as form. Okay. Here, the definition is already stopped here. But if you go to the Abhidhamma, usually the form, they are using a skills to analyze the whole body. Once in Abhidhamma, they realize that once you analyze to the body to the level which is undividable, that will be the truth. But before you reach the level of the truth, then you are, the body is in the conventional level, and it will be defined as not the Paramattha, and which is not the real truth. What does it mean? You see, okay, now I see you as Sally, right? And now I see Elena, am I right? Okay, if let's say, Sally, I try to separate your hair, your eye, your skin, your lung, okay, does Sally exist when I separate all the things? Elena, does Sally exist somewhere? No, it doesn't exist, right? It's the same. If let's say I separate, okay, Elena as I divide Elena, I mean the hair, the lung, the liver, meaning to say that Elena doesn't exist somewhere. All right. So meaning to say that Sally, the name as a Sally, and the name of the Elena, both destroy already, right? They destroy already because both of you are just how to say it's a compound of the different component of the body. Am I right? Okay. But anyway, we still manage to see that this is the hair, this is the eyeball, this is the lung. We still manage to see. Am I right? Okay. All right. But anyway, both no more Sally, no more Elena. What I see just how to say just a big part of the something only, the component of the body only. But if let's say I go to further analyze again. All right. For example, if I go to analyze the hair, I analyze to the level which is undividable. That will be the atom or molecule, right? In our science. All right. Okay. But in Pali, we call it as kalapa. Kalapa means the kalapa. Kalapa means the aggregates. Okay, the aggregates the aggregate is formed by the 8 elements. All right. Okay, I will give you the terms. Let me explain. Once I try to analyze your hair to the final stage, which is undividable, we call it kalapa also. Same, it applies to our eye, our lung, okay, and our kidneys, all the organs. Okay, if let's say I go to the kalapa level, is lung, is eye, is the liver, spleen, does all this exist somewhere? If I analyze to the level of kalapa, the most subtle part, okay, is there anything so-called as the lung? Okay, the kalapa belongs to the lung, the kalapa belongs to the hair, the kalapa belongs to the skin. Is there something like that? Or no more? Or the lung, the lung, okay, the lung, the hair, and the skin, all doesn't exist somewhere when you go to the most subtle level?
Are you trying to say that it means you can only see the tissue of an organ?
Oh, no. Now I go to the atom level. Once I analyze things to the atom level, there will be no more tissue, there will be no more organ, there will be no more lung, no more head. Am I right? Just the atom only, right? Because atom is similar for all the part of the body. So meaning to say that once you analyze to the atom level, there will be no more perception of this is the lung, this is the spleen, this is the hair. This is the skills which Abhidhamma use, and it is common and popular, not popular, certain school in Myanmar, they are using these skills as Vipassana skills. Because these skills, to make you see the truth, once you go to the most subtle level, to the atom level, or we call it kalapa level. Once you are attained to the kalapa level, kalapa is undividable, so that will be the truth. From here, no more lung, okay, no more lung, no more organ of the body, all right. And okay, once we come back to the, how should I put it up? Okay, so meaning to say that once you're able to reach this, the perception for Sally, no more, Elena, no more. And further, when we talk to the further, like the organ and the tissue of the body, no more exists. You are in the absolute truth. So that is the level which is the most ultimate level. Do you get what I mean? So that is the best way. But how to analyze it to the most ultimate stage? You need jhana. Jhana will like become a microscope, and it will magnify the whole thing and analyze the whole thing and let you go through the undividable and the most subtle part of the body. You see it? Okay. Okay. Why the skills involve the analyzing and dividing to the most subtle part? The reason is according to Buddha, our all defilement arise especially with the recognition of the self. Okay, maybe can you try to remember in what age we start to be, in what age we start for being humiliated. For example, people remarks as you are fat, you are naughty, then we start to cry. In what age do you remember? We start feel for being humiliated. In what age?
I was never fat. I'm always skinny.
No. I'm just create example. I mean the egoistic. When does the egoistic start to build up in for us? Teenager. Really? I think maybe some kids, maybe 4 or 5 years old. You said you are so fat, they start to cry, right? Am I right? You got means, right?
Maybe nowadays children.
Yes. You see, meaning to say that in our age, maybe in the 4 or 5, we build up the egoistic and we start to recognize that. For example, Sally start to recognize that I am Sally. And I truly recognize Sally as me. And Sally, this name, it belongs to me and I belong to the Sally. Once people humiliate Sally, then I start to feel sad already. You realize it now? But before maybe at the age number 1 and 2, we still don't realize that, oh, I'm the Sally. I don't know the definition of the fat. I don't know all these things. You see or not? So maybe, let's say age number 4 or 5, okay, we start recognize that Sally is me. I am the Sally. Once Sally got humiliated, I will feel hurt or I will feel angry. You see, meaning to say that our ego still build up from a very early age. Once you start to recognize yourself, you see or not? So what Buddhism try to do is we try to analyze our egoistic. The egoistic and the self, it doesn't exist. Once you go to the atom part, we got self. No more self, right? No more name as a Sally and no more self some more. So that is the skill, what the Shakyamuni do. Quite good, right? Very skillful and very, how should I put it? The method. So this is so-called method. For this syllabus, we just until this level, then we stop. No more further explanation. So I hope one day you please go to join the Abhidhamma class to understand more deep a little bit. Second is about the sensation. Sensation is regards to perception. It has already been 1 hour. Do you need to have a break to go to the toilet now? It's already 1 hour. No need. So we just continue. Okay. Second is about about the sensation. Sensation means the reception, which means the sorrow and the happiness. Okay. So remember just now the example. The 4 years old Sally, I mean, not at that age. As long as we born, all right, we can feel, we have a sensation. We start to feel the air. We start to feel the feeling. Once we are in the womb of our mother, we feel so happy. Once we born, then we feel suffer. The sensation start as long as we got once the neurology system start to build up, or the neuron system start to build up within our body, we start to have a sensation. And the sensation not just only in the eye, in the nose, it includes the whole body, all right? The third one is regards what? Let's take a look. Okay, the third is about the perceptions. Perception means what? Connections. You are making the image, all right? What does that mean? Then make an image and reveal it. Okay, for example, you remember in what age we start to be taught that this is the pen and this is the blue pen, and we start and we start for being taught that this is the red pen. In what age can you remember?
About 6,
About
Young.
six. Very young, about 6, maybe about 5 or 6, something like that. You see, meaning to say that that is where the perception start to build up. Okay, if let's say I teach you that, like, oh, this is the blue pen, this is the red pen, then usually we will comment, am I right? Oh, we said because we wrongly teach the people the perception. Actually, this is the perception. Okay, usually in perception, we used to use one very good word to describe it. That is the labeling. Okay, we start to tell people that, okay, this is the pen, okay, so this is the pillow, all right, so this is the handphone, meaning to say that we try to teach a boy or a girl or a boy that how he understand the world by just connect the words together with the method, all right? We try to connect both. So the boy will start to know that, oh, okay, so this is the pen, and this is the blue color, and this is the red color. This is how our writing and the verbal and the language starting for being established. See or not? So this is the perception. Okay, as far as I know, the modern psychology, the Western psychology, they have very good development in this perception. This is how they, how they develop the therapy. They understand that it happens that most of the communication problem is due to the definition. And one is there's a distance, there's a gap between the definition and the misunderstand could be arise. Okay. For example, okay, so Sally, can I ask you, can you tell me who are your family's member?
Sorry?
Who are your family members?
Am I a family member?
Who are your family member? Okay.
Who are my family members?
Can you tell me? Can you define? Your mother, right? Mother, father, and then
Mother, brother, sister,
brother, sister, then
grandmother,
grandmother, okay. Cousins, okay.
uncle, auntie,
Uncle, auntie, all right. That's all, okay.
Niece and nephew.
Okay, nephew. I mean your definition. Don't tell me the dictionary definition. I mean your definition. All right. Okay. Elena, can you tell me what is the definition of your family member?
Right now, my brother, sisters, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, my niece, nephew, my grandniece, grandnephew.
Okay. So you see, meaning to say that both of you have a different definition, but we used to communicate with our own definition. Once Sally say, how about your family member? Actually, in Sally's definition, the family member means his definition, which exclude what grandniece, grandnephew, But maybe Elena said, oh, they are very fine. So, but in Elena will using his own perception to answer you, Do you get what I mean? Oh, some people, they will include the family member, they will include a dog and a pet as a family member. But once you say, how about a family member? Okay, maybe the people said, oh, very fine. But in people's perception that it includes a pet, But suddenly you don't realize that. You know what I mean? So meaning to say that everybody you are living within your definition, within your perception. So without further asking the definition, usually we never go further and we never understand what is their definition. But this is how we communicate. And it used to happen, the misunderstanding. You get what I mean? Unless you go to clarify the definition. But I think it will be very tired. Okay, Sally, am I right? If every day we ask people, when I talk to you that I feel, I feel very happy with my family member. Then you say, Pastor, can you define the happy? Can you define the family member? Okay, I go to bought some stuff. Can you define what is the bought? Can you define what is the stuff? We'll be very tired, right? So usually we don't bother so much. But actually, it does matter once the misunderstanding appeared. And that is within the scope of the perception. And the Western psychology, they did it very well in this aspect. They understand that through the communication and the definition can clarify many problems. You get what I mean? Okay, so that is something. If you don't clarify, you are always living in your own world, meaning to say your own perception to see the world only. If you don't go to clarify. Okay, all right. So that's the perception. Okay, next we'll go through is then we go to the mental formation. It means the creation. All right. Then it's we make the decision making, and especially there's an action. All right. We have a special words we call it volitions. What does it mean? This is a 形式 mean the volition. Once you decide to do something, that is due to the volitions. Let me let me see the English words. Sorry. A mental formation. Okay, mental formation. Okay, for example, okay, just now like Mr. Leo, maybe they are panicking buying now. Okay, they are panicking buying now. Why? The reason is they get the news that the intervention of the army may cause a curfew. Okay, the thought is the truth, so they decide to join the panicking buying. So this decision making, we call it as volitions. Which is the formation? Let's me check. This is a mental formation. We call it mental formation. As long as you make a decision, there will be the mental formation, which we call it as a volitions. Okay, and the mental formation is very crucial. In our mental state, right? Once we try to contact, the outside world will trigger a series of continuous of the mental they will create a series of the mental flow, and the mental flow which is following the rules and regulations. Okay, and one of it is once our mind start to create a good or bad deed, especially in the volition state. So the volition state will decide whether we create a good karma or the bad karma. And the volition has something to do with our previous education and the perception. For example, now Mr. Leong involved in panicking buying. Okay, once he start the panicking buying, maybe he start to try to grab the food for the people. Okay, then he start to punch the people. You see, all this we call it volitions. Okay, all this we call it volition. And it involves the bad volition. The bad volition. But maybe Mr. Leong, once he reached the place, okay, he buys some food to the older people, right? So that it will be call it as a good volition. Maybe I put a very bad example. Sorry. Okay, so this is the volition we mean. Anyway, everything has already been recorded, and will upload to the whole world. So after the volition, we go to the consciousness. Consciousness mean what? It means the clear, let's see what, the clear differentiations, clear understanding and discriminations. Okay, as long as we see something, all right, you see, I saw this is the pen, right? Okay, we can differentiate it. This is the pen, and we can differentiate this is the mouse. Okay, this is the mouse. Okay, this is the mouse. Okay, the simple differentiation is due to our consciousness. Our consciousness make us see that, okay, there's a difference between both of it. But of course, our perceptions play the major roles for the deeper differences between it. Okay, maybe in our consciousness we know both are the pen, but the perception will make us know the difference between this is the blue pen, this is the red pen. Do you get it? So consciousness is a more primary level to differentiate the things. Okay, maybe we'll go, okay, now we try to make the whole things together, okay. So maybe still with the Mr. Leong example, okay. So after Mr. Leong, okay, read the news that, oh, there might be a curfew imposed, all right. So Mr. Leong make a decision, that's the violation. So he start to go rush to the Yon Bay for panicking buying, okay. So once Mr. Leong see the things, there got so many food there, so that is the consciousness take place first. So he start to see, okay, this is the food, this is the stable food, that is the a vegetable, okay, that is the flour, okay, start to see the very basic, okay. Then secondly, he got the feeling, all right. He found that, wow, the atmosphere is quite bad, everybody is panic, okay. He also is panic, so that is the feeling appeared. So this is the second aggregate. The third one, he start to analyze. He go further that, maybe I think the best, okay, he go to see, maybe, okay, the Maggi mee and also maybe the rice, okay, he see it, he can differentiate it, and you know that in the rice, maybe brown rice is still better than the white rice, okay, since the curfew may take longer period. So this is how the perception start to play roles, all right. Then he make a violation that, okay, I want to buy 20 packets of the brown rice I store in my house to avoid the long period of the curfew. So that's the violation. So he start to go to buy, okay, then he go back already and start join our online class. So this is how the 5 aggregate, flow of the 5 aggregate. Okay, so do you get what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so the example must be related to the COVID-19. Will be more meaningful. Yeah, must be related to COVID-19. Maybe 10 years later, you go to watch back this YouTube, or you feel that's very meaningful. Wow, everything is related to the COVID-19. Okay. Okay, maybe now I wish you all to copy down the Pali terms, the Pali terminologies. Second is the feeling. Feeling means what? Okay, feeling, Pali. Vedana. Please copy down Vedana. There's the 1 slash above A. Please don't omit it. Come up once you finish Sally. Okay. Formation. Pali. Oh, no, this is wrong. Sorry. Wait. Let me see. Xiang. Xiang is a perception. Perceptions. Yeah, perception is the sanya. Please. Sanya. So xiang. Chetana. Chetana means the volitions. Okay. Consciousness. Consciousness.
I-C-O-N-S-C.
Consciousness. Yes. Vijnana, please. Okay, finish. If you try to compare Sanskrit, Pali, and Tibetan, which one font is more beautiful for you?
More beautiful.
Yes. Which font is looks more beautiful for you? More artistic for you? I prefer the Tibetan. You prefer Pali. I prefer Tibetan, you see?
Pali.
You prefer Pali. How about Elena? Which one is more beautiful for you?
Tibetan.
I also prefer Tibetan, you see. Looks nice, like dancing, and it's very elegant, right? You can see the elegance. Yes, yes. The letter itself, it shows the elegance. I like it very much. One day maybe I will learn the Tibetan language. Maybe one day it's due to the beauty I like the beauty of the Tibetan, the wordings itself. Okay, let's try to continue. So after the 5 aggregate, now we go to the further. Elena, please read through it.
Form is material. Sensations, perceptions, formations, and consciousness are mental. Sentient beings in the cycle of birth and death are synonymous with these 5 aggregates. Things that we think of as I and mine are actually not separate from the 5 aggregates. They are nothing more than physical and mental activities, nothing more than matter and spirit. The 5 aggregates of sentient beings are called the 5 grasping aggregates because they are formed from past grasping afflictions. Because they arise from grasping, their intrinsic qualities are inevitable, miserable. And now, because of the confused attachment of the grasping afflictions, these 5 grasping aggregates become even more miserable. The Buddha spoke of the doctrine of the fourfold abiding consciousness. Our grasping consciousness associated with afflictions, cannot be without object. Mr. Leong, page 121. These objects are material forms, feelings, or sensations, discriminating perceptions and creative formations. The grasping consciousness constantly dwells on these 4 material or mental objects, acting as if they could be grasped, dwelled on, attached to, and obtained. It is like the glue affixed to lacquer. It cannot be disentangled. When consciousness is attached to, concerned about, an object, any change in that object will cause one's mind to be involuntarily either sad or happy. Of course, this is unavoidably miserable. You may not have any reaction when the leaves of a tree fall because you see that as something relating to yourself. But if a loved one or the power, position, or wealth that you cherish, or some other objects that especially concerns you, is in danger or on the verge of death, you will then feel incomparable pain and suffering. This is because you are so attached that it is as if this object were yourself or part of yourself. Attaching to objects is like falling into an ensnaring net or a thorn of bush. In other words, consciousness forms attachment. Form, sensation, perception, and formation are objects of attachment. Together, they are the 5 aggregates, conglomeration of all suffering.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's try to digest this part of the content. Mr. Leong, thumb up please if you finish. Highlight the point. Thumb up please if you finish highlighting the point. Thumb up, thumb up, thumb up. So have you finished? Have you finished? Okay, so let's try to digest this part. What does it mean for this part? According here, okay, form is material and perception, formations, consciousness are mental. Meaning to say that this type of kanda, the classification as kanda are more mental orientation because we got 5 parts. One is about the matter only. The other 4 parts is about mental. So this is a more mental orientation. What is the implication for this? 哇，Elena 仲食緊嘢啊，咁好味啊！OK， OK， OK， all right， OK。So make sure 唔好成日食手指啊，嗬，COVID-19 啊嚇，而家，哎呀真係。OK，so sorry 啊。OK，you see what I'm talking about. OK， OK. Well, this classification is mainly for the one who are more sharp and more intelligent. The reason is, for most of the people, matter are more gross than the spirit. The matter are more gross than the mind. If let's say the classification by using which is emphasized more on the mind, meaning to say that the meditator must be more sharp and intelligent. Most of the people, for most of the people, we analyze, we do the vipassana and analyze the matter first is more suitable because the matter are more gross. Am I right? Matter should gross than the mental, right? You see, now the body, you see, very gross, right? Very concrete, we can feel it, all right. But once we talk about the feeling, perceptions, and the consciousness, everything, it sounds more subtle, right? It's not easy for the people begin with the mental, to analyze the mental first. Okay, now let's take a look. But we will go through another classification, which will be more emphasized on the material than the mind. Okay. As long as we have the perception that I and mind, all right, our I and my perception never separated from the 5 aggregates. They are nothing more than the physical and mental activity. Class, the keyword is the activity. But we don't realize this is the activity. Am I right? You see, according to the Buddhism, our body is every second changing. Our mind is every second changing. But we don't realize it. See or not? Okay, very simple. We don't see much different if you go to look at the mirror compared today and tomorrow. But you can see the difference once, 1 year before or 2 years before, especially if you prolong the lifespan for the 10 year, you can easily compare yourself before the 10 year and after the 10 year, right? Okay, it's very easy. But once you go to compare, maybe 5 years still easy to see the difference, but per day also you cannot see. So how to make us able to see the difference between 1 day or even maybe 1 second, the first second and the second second? You need one tools. What tools is it, Mr. Leong? What tools we need to so that we are able to see the difference between first second and the second second of the changing of our physical body? What tools shall we have? Shall we use? What tools is it?
Vipassana meditation to find the insight and use our wisdom to see as the things as it really is.
Yes, that's true. The power of samadhi. So according, most of the meditators notice that samadhi is a very strong power, and samadhi is like a freezer, They're able to freeze the flow of our mentality and the materiality. So that's the reason why we are very encouraging you to try to achieve first jhana and above, so that you possess the tools, the freezing tool, the tools, and with the vipassana skills to see the flow of the thing. Just only with the power of the samadhi. But by now, we are not in the first jhana. We are just in the sensual consciousness. Well, this essential consciousness is very gross. We can't see anything. It doesn't work like a microscope. We can't see much thing, but just the first jhana power, especially the light of your own nimitta, they will be very powerful to analyze this, to see your mentality and materiality, and it will by using the skill of vipassana, we analyze to the most subtle part, and that part is the more ultimate part. So, Sally, do you get the idea? Why you have to work hard to sit 3 hours here? The reason is to prepare yourself for the vipassana skills. Okay. So it sounds Mr. Leong knows things quite well about this. So that's we call it activity, even though we don't realize it. Okay. Why we need to analyze the physical and mental activity is just to break the 5 grasping attitude. Plus, the keyword is the grasping attitude, the grasping aggregate. Arhat also possess the 5 aggregate. We also possess the 5 aggregate, but we ourselves possess the 5 grasping aggregate. That's the difference between the Arahant and us. Basically, why? The reason is our aggregate itself, we attach the 5 aggregate itself. We attach it and we deem it as ourself. So all the defilement and all the defilement arise is from the grasping. It's not from the 5 aggregate actually. Once we deem this as ourself, then we will start to define that this thing belongs to me, that thing belongs to me. Once we deem that the things belongs to us, and the change and the variable and the variability and the change of the things will cause our emotion up and down. So that is how our Buddhism to interpret our question, our defilement. All is come from this one, the wrong perception. We wrongly deem that this is ourself, the mental and the physical activity as ourself, and we wrongly also deem that the external world belongs to us. But of course, there must be the loved one. I mean, the thing, something which we love it, then we start to attach it, and our emotion will start to start to turn in turmoil. If the things we don't like it, of course, we wouldn't be in the turmoil. Okay, so get it? All right. Okay, now let's go to the further. It must be relating to you. It doesn't relate to you, we don't fight anything. It's just like a COVID-19, I mean, once it happened in the Wuhan, I found that it's very far away. All right. There's so many stories of the nurse cry, the daughter cry, a lot of sacrifice. Well, not much, no big deal, but now it happens just very near us, Then the story different already, Now we can go out, you see. So meaning to say that once the thing is close to us, we will have the emotion upon it. Then we will react over it. If the thing is not so related to us, we won't react upon it. Okay, let's go to the further. Okay, now is we go to the six sense organs and the 6 consciousness. Okay, Mr. Leong, please read through it. Okay.
The 6 sense organs and the 6 consciousness. This also can be illustrated by the 6 sense organs, which grasping external conditions produce consciousness. The body and mind of sentient beings is the confluence of all suffering. Besides the discourses on the 5 aggregates, the Buddha also spoke of the 6 sense organs, or the 12 places, and the 6 objects, or the 18 objects. So this conglomeration of suffering can be illustrated by the 6 sense organs. The 6 sense organs are the eye, ear, nose, tongue, called the six roots, and this produces the differentiating consciousness. The sixth sense of must pass psychological functions. So see visible forms, hear sounds, smell odors. Buddha said that these are the nerves. The sixth sense organ, the mind, recognizes all objects of cognition. It is the mental faculty and the source of the consciousness. Sentient beings' cognition cannot happen without the six sense organs. The six sense organs grasp six objects, visibly forms, sounds, odors, taste, tangible objects, and the object of cognition. And this grasping generates the sixth consciousness: eye, ear, nose, tongue, and mind consciousness.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Leong. Okay, we try to digest this paragraph. Mr. Leong, please thumb up once you finish. Highlight. Finish already. Okay, thank you so much. So let's take a look. Now we go to the second classification, which is the sixth sense organ and the sixth consciousness. Okay. So class, once we talk about 6 sense organ and 6 consciousness, do you think this is more mind orientation or more mental orientations, or more matter orientation or more mind orientations, or both are equal? How about Elena? Okay, I open the sound for you.
Six sense organs will be more towards the matter. Then the six consciousness will be more on the mind.
How about you add up both? If you add up both, there will be more mind orientation on the matter orientations.
Mind.
Yes, mind. Okay. Can you further elaborate why there's a mind orientations rather than the matter orientations?
Because like the eyes, you use the eyes to see and then you visualize. It's not the matter. Then in a way, your mind will kind of project something to you. Whatever you see, your mind will project something to you, right?
Okay, so what you guess is right, but the reason is not that valid. Let's try to go further. You understand the reason, okay, let's take a look. Okay, from here, the Buddha spoke of the 6 sense organs or the 12 places because they add up 6 sense organ and the 6 consciousness, then will become the 12th place, all right? Sorry, it will be the 6 sense organ and the 6 consciousness. Okay, this is correct. Okay, the 6 sense organ mean the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. Let's take a look. There's one more mind in the 6 sense organ. And the 6 consciousness is the mind. So 6 plus 1 will be 7. So there will be 7 mind. 7 out of 12 is the mind. So we call it as mind orientation. That is the reason, Elena? The valid reason is this. Okay, Okay, what does it mean? The 6 organs. The organs means also roots, and it carries the meaning. It carries the sense of growth, meaning to say that the organ itself is growing. It's growing. So this is the reason why we call it as the 6th sense of organ. All right. And the 6th sense organ constitute a further classification that's the twofold entity of the body and mind. It's a further classification. Just now, just only 5 aggregate, but now we got 12 already. So sure, this is the further, further classification. All right. And how do we define the 6th sense? Okay, let's take a look. The sense, meaning to say this is the door, this is the entrance. Okay. Once we try to see the object, okay, you see the object in front of us, okay. According to the definitions, our eye is just like a door, you see, and the door make our mind, or our mind can make contact with the object through the eye, through the sense. So that is the definition. For this activity, see or not? Okay, meaning to say that without the presence of the 6th sense, without presence of the sense, our mind cannot contact with the object, the external object, which is the sound, smell, touch, and etc. Okay, let's go further. Okay, only by passing through them can connections be produced. Yes, we must be able. Our mind must be able to see. Our mind must be able to grasp the external object through the entrance before produce the connection. So when the connection produced, then we have the further actions already. So 5 of the organ, they are more on body, are material, but they have physiology function. Okay, why they have the physiology function? The reason is they got a nerve system behind. For example, this is our eye. Let's take a look. This is our eye. this is our eye. So this is where the retina is. Retina is the nerve. Okay. Once our eye, we call it our, in Dharma, we call it our eye door, all right, or eye organ, okay, contact with an external object, okay. The external object through the eye door, okay, they will project the lights and reach to the retina. And from the retina, the message will pass through to our brain. So this is our science way to explain. In Dharma, it's the same only. There's an object, external object. It go through our organ, okay, our sense, and the consciousness arise. The consciousness is supposed to be the image reflect in our brain. So in science, the image should be reflect in our occipital lobe, in our brain. So let's take a look. Where is the occipital lobe in our brain? Occipital lobe. So this is the occipital lobe. Okay, this is the occipital lobe. Occipital lobe. So meaning to say that whatever consciousness appeared in science, it appears in our occipital lobe, this part of our brain. Okay, just an analogy only. It might not be 100% accurate. The sixth sense organ, the mind, recognizes all object of connection. It is the mental faculty and the source of the consciousness. Let's take a look. There must be an object, and there must be an eye faculty, and then the consciousness is able to arise. Okay, so meaning to say that we need the sixth object in order to generate the sixth consciousness. So this is something about the sixth consciousness. Okay. Well, we still need a little bit to go further, but I think better we stop our class here.